gaming bets, online betting for every esports fan. Dota 2 and Hearthstone, CSGO and Overwatch, StarCraft 2, the choice is yours. Express bets for multiple matches or live bets on the game you are watching right now. Know your way around Dota 2? Make a prediction for picks and bans. Playing CSGO? Guess the number of rounds in a certain match. Daily quests for all participants and all the best choice of payment systems. More than 600,000 users have already made their bets on the spectacular matches since 2011. EGB.com. You know for sure who's gonna win.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
All right, welcome back. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we got game number 2 of this best-of-3 series coming at you. Team Freedom taking on Team NP here. NP up 1-0. Pretty decisive victory, to say the least, right here. This is the Dota Pit League Season number 5 American qualifier action coming at you. Another first-round matchup. A quick look at the brackets here. Just a very quick recap. You see the top portion, EG did take out Complexity. 2-1 earlier on today, thus moving on. NP in a spot up 1-0 now to also be moving on. But Freedom trying to prevent that. But you see there, those are the 4 teams in these qualifiers. Again, the overall event is going to be taking place at LAN here for Dota Pit, I believe, in the month of January. Going to be happening, and there was only 2 invite teams to this event, that being Wings and DC, of course. So, there's a lot of questions like, wait, why not EG? But, well, EG has to make it through the American qualifiers. So, I bet the other teams, though, in the America region weren't too happy with that. They have to get through them, but...
Yeah, it's a little unfortunate for them, but, it makes for a spicy qualifier. Not quite as spicy as FYM's Extra Hot Sauce, not sponsored, but...
Wow. You just did it. Oh, man. Have you actually tried it before?
5 seconds remaining.
No, I haven't. Everybody's, advertising this stuff. They're always posting, memes of, sloths holding hot sauce bottles and stuff.
Has anyone actually tried this hot sauce? Everyone just talks about it. I would love to try it. Just saying. Hook me up. NP.
Yeah, somebody sent me a bottle.
Somebody do that. Anyways, this draft, about the game in front of us here, we got, you see some bans, some Naga, some Timbersaw bans from Freedom. There's a Magnus ban from NP, as well as the Crystal Maiden once again, but take another Magnus here. And then they go Wisp and Ogre Magi, so maybe a little bit more expected. Again, they first picked Jakiro last game, which was really out of left field, and I don't know if Jakiro necessarily had the highest impact last game, but, I mean, it was good in the end, and obviously, as a team, though, they were just so good, so... But probably not going to see Jakiro this game.
Yeah, already picking both of their supports in the first phase, not something you typically see. A lot of times people will take one support and one core, or even support and an off lane. So that way you have your second support to counter
5 seconds
you
remaining.
know, one of their cores they pick later in the game, but maybe have some heroes that are easily counterable
Reserve
that they want to
time.
pick. So holding on to those and taking both their supports early on. So Freedom can sort of piece together what their lanes are going to be already from these 2 picks. So
Yeah.
kind of interesting start.
Maybe it's a case of also, though, NP maybe not
Dire
too
team
worried
back.
about their opponents here, giving away all that information. Not shit talking for them. I'm just saying, you know, again, that was a pretty decisive first game there. And Freedom, to be fair, they are coming off those couple of roster changes, as we mentioned as well. So, you know, the synergy is still being worked
10
on and
seconds
everything. So,
remaining.
still trying to figure things out even. But
5
a couple
seconds
follow-up
remaining.
bans. We got the Bat Rider and now the final one to come for Freedom, or the fourth one even. You see
Reserve
Lifestealer
time.
and Slark taken out by NP. So, we're left with Juggernaut and Lifestealer as the... no, Lifestealer banned. That's right. So, Juggernaut going to be here.
All
for
right,
Freedom.
so they're going to third pick Juggernaut.
Okay. That's, I feel so bad because it's like I don't even know this guy, frankly. I know that he's a popular streamer and everything like that, but I don't really know him. I've just been told to say this. I shouldn't do that.
Yeah, that's mean. Why are you such a bully?
I'm
dude?
such a bully.
Radiant team pick.
Vengeful ban, huh? All right. I guess he did pretty good last game in the hands of Owie there. Don't want to give it
yeah.
up again.
Definitely performed. It's a hero that is quite strong in lane, so does well versus
10
Sand King.
seconds remaining.
And they are doing an aggressive dual lane, obviously, with these 2 heroes. So
5
Venge, a
seconds
hero that
remaining.
does very well versus those types of things. A hero that doesn't mind that much playing
Reserve
a little bit
time.
from behind because she can still contribute with the damage or with the stun. So yeah, just banning out a hero that's strong in lane. Aui's particularly good on that hero, and yeah, it's just a nice hero versus the aggressive lane they're putting together with the Sand King and the Undying.
Yeah. Got about 45 seconds here for Team NP on their reserve time, so spending a bit thinking about their own third pick right here. So, yeah, this is going to be our last series for today. I believe the tournament in general is set to continue on into, well, I'm not even going to say because I don't even know. I was going to say tomorrow, but I think it's one of those cases they're going to have to kind of figure out the schedule. So keep an eye on that. But there's been the other qualifiers, of course, taking place. The Chinese qualifier is going to be wrapping up here in the near future, actually. So, anyways, how about that? Luna into Lich coming out. Interesting. The Lich pick.
Yeah, Freedom doubling down on this early game, realizing that as far as decision making goes, the NP is probably just going to be superior than them. So trying to win their lanes
10
and play the game
seconds
from there
remaining.
seems to be their strategy going into this game. So maybe going to do some sort of a dual
5
lane mid with
seconds remaining.
Lich and Tomato and have BSJ playing some sort of a safe laner. That may be their
time.
plan. We'll have to see what they do from there. But yeah, the Luna Wisp, a nice combo. Bolsters the Luna quite a bit, so gets those glaives off super fast. A good hero to save the Luna here. It's very squishy and burstable, and also easily gankable. One of the best ways that people play against the Luna. So sort of covering up the Luna's weaknesses and buffing your strengths. Definitely what you want to do whenever you're putting together a draft.
Mm-hmm.
And now the Storm versus
Dire team pick.
heroes that Storm is quite good versus.
Why would you say that? Just because of not a lot of lockdown, but oh, Storm is good against them, is what you said.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah, I'm like looking at Freedom's line. I'm like, doesn't seem that good against Storm.
10
Yeah, no,
seconds
good point.
remaining.
Now that I definitely agree with. So just all around a sound pick.
5
You know, I'm kind of wondering. I was
remaining.
looking at the Shadow Demon possibility, but yeah, I mean, unless they were running an Ogre Magi
Reserve
like
time.
as a core here, then it's obviously not going to happen for NP.
Yeah, that'd probably be unlikely. Yeah, the Storm is really nice versus these heroes. Storm is not great versus heroes that either push and like take your towers, take your map control. That's one of the best things you can do versus greedy heroes like Storm, like Alchemist, that want to farm up. They want to take the safe farm early on, and then later in the game when they get some items, they go and take the aggressive farm. So if you can shut down the stage where they take the safe farm, it puts them quite far behind. And Storm's obviously also weak versus like lots of stuns and stuff, but if you're picking up the puck
Radiant
now, so they're gonna have the
team back.
silence to try and help control the Storm Spirit. But if you don't get that shutdown early on in the Storm Spirit, when you get some items, this matchup turns very quickly into the Storm Spirit just hunting this puck all around the map with the Bloodstone, with the Orchid, and just being sort of unkillable as puck's damage falls off quite hard.
10
Yeah.
seconds remaining.
Going to have to be a quick final
5 seconds remaining.
ban right here and then pick for Team NP. Obviously already dipping quite a bit into that reserve time, down to about 10
Reserve
seconds now.
time.
But you figure what they need, that
10
off lane
seconds
makes the
remaining.
most sense right here. God, Nyx, I'm going to go with Nyx again.
5
Seems
seconds
like it could
remaining.
fit so well, too. You know, you got the Storm Spirit to follow up. You got Nick's IO combination. I like it.
Dire team
Yeah, the
back.
Nyx is probable here. There's also the Slardar. Could be good here. The Nyx is definitely a good choice. We'll see what they ban here. They'll probably either ban the Nyx or the Slardar, and MP take the other. It also could
10
be a game where they
seconds
take another
remaining.
Tidehunter. No, always a pretty decent Tidehunter
5
game.
seconds remaining.
It'd be nice for having a frontliner for whenever they do push with the Luna. But with Storm Spirit, you typically want an initiator. So yeah, like you said, I would assume either the
Dire
Slaughter or the
team
Nyx Assassin. Because having that hero that jumps before the storm does is always nice.
Yeah, they took out Beastmaster. I guess that could have potentially been another hero that NP could have ran there.
Yeah, I actually think Beastmaster was the best pick. That was a good ban. It
10
pairs really well with
seconds
the Luna and
remaining.
Storm Spirit, heroes that both benefit from the attack
5
speed.
seconds
And like you said,
remaining.
it's a hero that has great setup, the roar, very long duration, so it's time for the Wisp to relocate out of the Luna or the Storm in.
Reserve
So
time.
really nice ban from Freedom, realizing they need some kind of initiator, and Beastmaster probably the best of those.
All right, so they got plenty of time to figure out this final pick. Still a minute left on that reserve time as Freedom. You see the ban on the Spectre even taken out there. Possibilities.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's good versus the Wisp. Pretty good versus the Storm Spirit because you can have the Sand King hunting around looking for the Storm Spirit. Channel the Epicenter, and then going with the Stun and the Haunt, and it gives you some form of killing the Storm Spirit. The Haunt also good versus the Luna because the Spectre Illusions can tank up the beams. So you could pop that whenever the Luna pops Eclipse and tank up some of those beams, maybe save your teammates, good in a team fight. And Luna not typically known for her massive burst damage or single target damage. None of MP's heroes are really, so Spectre a hero that you really need a lot of single target damage to bring her down effectively. So yeah, just a nice ban overall. They also need quite a hard carry as almost all of their heroes are space making. And yeah, they go with the Anti-Mage. I'm surprised
Radiant
they didn't
team
ban
pick.
that versus the Storm Spirit, but I guess they have a plan. They're confident.
Yeah, again, I think a lot of that goes back to the mentality that I'm sure they do have, as Justin really at the beginning there. They feel like they are the better team, and as they
10
should. And
seconds
again,
remaining.
that first game, but just how they've been playing as of late. So, gonna rely on that
5
perhaps
seconds
as well. But their final pick, hey, 2 points for me.
Got
Take
him.
it. Finally, after 2 games, it actually works. No, but yeah, it just seemed like it made sense to go with the Wisp especially. And kind of just looking at both these lineups, I feel like NP's is one of those. It's just nice. Like, it just comes together. It all makes sense. There's no really, like, glaring question marks. It's just a very, very sound lineup. Freedom, on the other hand, it feels a little bit rocky, I feel like. It's kind of a mix of somewhat aggressive, but not really. So, it's going to be interesting to see how that works for Freedom here.
Yeah, they're very committed to winning these lanes. Almost all of the heroes are terrible when behind. Anti-Mage, Puck, Lich, Undying, Sand King. So they're very committed to winning, like I said, this early game, making sure they win their lanes.
10
They
seconds
can get a quick
remaining.
Blink Daggers and the Sand King and the Puck and make stuff happen, and maybe they'll have a chance. But
5
if they do fall
seconds
behind early, if
remaining.
the NP can get some good rotations off with this Ogre, then the things could turn grim pretty quickly. But we do get the treat of seeing a BSJ Anti-Mage, almost as famed as the Arteezy Anti-Mage, so...
Yeah, I have a feeling that's not true. I kind of read through your lies right there. Yeah, I will say one thing for Freedom is the wombo combo potential. When it comes to team fights, the glorious ultimates coming together, it's definitely potentially there. So I guess that's like a one strength that is pretty good on the side of Freedom here, between the Dream Coil, the Epicenter, and then you throw the Chain Frost on top. That's what it's called, right? Chain Frost, yeah. Of Lich right there. So definitely potential to be pretty big. And then the Mana Void, as you mentioned, going up against the Storm Spirit, especially could be big. Okay, they smoke down the middle lane here. Does Freedom. Put the ward down. They're going to run into Ogre. Oh, cutting back mid. They want to get the Storm. Oh, that's big. Yeah, they're going to collapse on him. Storm has no clue. And this is going to be a first blood on the Storm Spirit. That's got to feel good.
30 seconds to battle.
That's
Yeah,
revenge from
that was-
last game.
That was a weird smoke, but they do get him. The Lich skilling up the Q for that, I'm not sure if that was needed or even like worth the kill. So now their bot lane, it looks like they're going an aggro try. Is that what they're doing? Maybe the Undying or the Lich will head up. Okay, yeah, so it looks like the Undying is going to play up there with the Anti-Mage and try and solo zone the next Assassin. But yeah, this bot lane is definitely going to be weakened for the first couple of levels. Oh, NP actually going for an aggro try. And they're going to have to dodge, but the Anti-Mage down bottom.
Now, what we just saw there, too, though, both bounty runes taken by Team NP. So while Freedom was trying to kind of figure out their lanes, NP actually ends up sniping both the runes. How big of a deal is that? I mean, because I've heard so many different things on that. Like, is that actually a pretty big deal?
It's nice, but it's not like game changing. Before, whenever the runes gave XP, it was huge, but now it's like, you know, it's just nice. It's gold.
Okay.
It's pretty important that your mid gets one, but since Freedom got that first blood and the Undying is helping out mid, it doesn't really make a difference for Tomato. But it's more important that EE got it.
Yeah. Yeah, again, EE getting that first blood himself last game. Falls this time around. Gets first blooded. So a little bit of revenge like I was talking about there on the side of Freedom. Got to feel good about that. But yeah, it is going to be this aggressive trial lane from NP here at the top lane. Ogre Magi kind of, he blocks the 1 minute spawn right there. So he's just simply using his body to put the blocks out, preventing the polling from happening as a result. And just kind of small plays like that that are just, good to see. It just adds up. That just takes away, effective farm that could be had by Freedom right now with the way this lane's pushed up. So yeah, very well played there by Ogre, especially knowing how tanky he was, that he didn't feel vulnerable either. Undying's just sitting middle, though, playing Protector to the puck here.
Yeah, looks like I was wrong, actually. The Storm wasn't able to get the rune. Looks like he was still coming out of base or something like that, so only 1 CS on the Storm right now compared to the Puck's 10. Really getting just crushed by this Undying, putting all this pressure mid. That's sort of Eagle's specialty. He's a mid-sitter extraordinaire. Skywrath, Undying, those are sort of his signature heroes, so definitely experienced in the art of mid-sitting.
Okay, gotcha. Learning something new there. Okay, just died in neutral creep, so getting some of that efficiency out there. Ooh, the Courier got a little close right there. Tomato's actually taking some good pressure. He's going to be fine, but pops the salve there. Just delivered to him. So bottom lane, a little bit of pressure, more so onto Nick's Assassin as the top lane. Luna got picked off, actually, and now more potentially on Ogre Magi. You see Sand King getting low to himself. It's not going to chase as a result, but yeah, able to take out the Luna at the top lane. I was watching action elsewhere. How did that happen?
Yeah. And SPG rotated away to help out EE in the mid, and I guess Aoi just playing a little too aggressive while the Wisp was gone and costing him to pretty bad death, giving the Sand King and the Lich the start they need to win this game.
Oh, up here the chase is on. No, he's trying to get himself killed by the neutrals right there, but Luna actually credit for the kill. Getting some revenge, you could say, onto Sand King, so well played there. Able to chase him back, and yeah, Luna, despite that death, she is second in the game of last hits right now, and again has that kill now to work with as well. They're really protecting this middle lane area, though, the runes especially. The Eagle's going to go down here and pick up a bounty rune that still happened to be there. Meanwhile, Lich coming in the middle lane. The Illusory Orb is not going to be dodged, and Tomato goes in, commits for the kill. Onto EE right there, the phase shift. Also SVG, obviously not nearly enough damage to do anything further. In fact, yeah, needs to be careful himself not to also get caught here in that middle. But middle being controlled by Freedom here, safe to say.
Yeah, they're playing this early game like we said they needed to do really, really well. They set up the lanes how they wanted to. The Anti-Mage has a 1v1 down bottom, so it's not going to be getting free CS, but is going to be getting pretty close to that, as they're pretty similar laners. Both of them are just going to farm, maybe not as much as they would before, maybe missing a couple of CS, but pretty similar. But EE getting shut down massively in mid, and only level 3 right now, with the puck almost level 5. So Tomato's going to have quite a bit of kill potential for a long time. So going to have to commit heroes to help EE, which is going to weaken their other lanes. So maybe opening up kills on Luna, but EE is going to go down again.
Yeah, being on the uphill over here, not the place to be at all. Even the Tombstone being used by Undying to really kind of zone him out, block him off, and no chance to get away there. In fact, 1437 could also be Death and Decay, and it is enough. Puck secures the kill, and he picks up the double kill, in fact. So, hey, he talked about Tomato just before that happened, how he's already such a great start. I mean, now even that much better. The double kill thrown in there looking very strong and very positive for Freedom. Already up 5-1 in hero kills. Jeez, this game, safe to say, going a little different here. Game number 2.
Yeah, this is not the kind of start you want to have as a Storm versus an Anti-Mage. It's really, really essential in that matchup the Storm is ahead, because if you are behind, this Anti-Mage gets some items, and you can just never commit to a fight, because if you ever do, he just holds his mana void, and then use all your mana jumping in, jumping around, getting kills, the Anti-Mage ults you, and you just sort of nuke your team. So it's really not a position you want to be in as the Storm, and like we said before, this Puck just over twice as farmed as the Storm. Really, really costly in this early game for NP.
They missed a kill chance here at the top lane. That Lich definitely would have been dead if 1437 just chose to ignite him instead of the Sand King, but it was kind of a last-minute decision. You can't blame him, obviously, for trying to commit to Sand King when clearly Lich was the easier target as soon as he went around the corner right there. So, missed kill opportunity, but Lich will survive. As bottom lane, they're diving down here onto the Nyx. He's trying to kill the Tombstone. The heal comes out, though.
Oh.
And he pops the carapace trying to survive through this. It's not going to be enough, however, and BSJ will be able to blink away.
Radiant's bottom
Should be
tower
fine.
Yeah,
What happened there?
It was a nice play from MSS. Right whenever the Anti-Mage mana voided, he popped the carapace.
Okay.
So he didn't get hit by the mana void damage.
Radiant's
And tried to
bottom
mango
tower
and
is
stun,
under
but
attack.
right as he mangoed, he got hit by the Anti-Mage. If he had timed it slightly better, maybe he would have even killed the Anti-Mage. But not getting the stun off,
Radiant's
and
bottom
picking up that
tower
kill,
is under
it's nice,
attack.
nice rotation from Eagle. But the Anti-Mage quite low now, may have to go to base as MSS comes back with full mana, full HP. And having the ult now, he may actually get a kill on BSJ.
Trying to let him be, taking some pressure too, but yeah, he's going to be fine. But yeah, bottom lane, as you're saying, BSJ, he falls back behind the tower. He definitely knows something's up. And so he'll be fine for the time being. Ogre Magi middle, throws the Ignite out. Sitting in the front lines, taking some harassment from Lich himself, but obviously he's going to be fine there. And yeah, it looks like BSJ on the Anti-Mage is going to fall back to base. Making sure he's not vulnerable. Juby, though, I think he's probably dead right here. Vendetta, yeah, it's going to open. There's the Impale. And the mana burn, a couple of auto attacks, gets the job done. So not much you can do there if you're Lich. Just simply happen to be the target that that was found by that Vendetta. So
Yeah, BSJ realizing that Nyx was around, that he was going for a gank, but not getting back mid, even though the Nyx was off the map, he wasn't farming the lane, so pretty obvious he's going for a rotation. Just Juby sticking around a little too long, maybe not realizing the Nyx had gone invis, maybe BSJ not calling it, you don't really know, but does get a nice pick-me-up and has the Arcane Boots now, so not as easy for BSJ to pull out all his mana, so the Nyx can farm a little bit better.
if you're Wisp here, who's your target you're really looking to prioritize sticking to? Is it that Storm Spirit, or is it the Nyx, actually, to go around earlier on?
It's probably either the Storm or the Luna. The Storm in the earlier game, whenever, or the Storm, you want to stick around with him whenever he has some items and is ready to go for kills, participate in fights like that, and you want to stick around with the Luna at times whenever you're going for pushes, or just sort of like small skirmish stuff. The Storm is more of like the ganker you port in whenever you have the Nyx around. It's basically just port in the hero who's stronger at the time to whichever hero is needed to get the kills.
Yeah. Meanwhile, top lane, Luna gets picked off, and you got to say, she's pretty blind up there as far as the vision goes, and that was just simply rotation coming out. The Tombstone put down. She actually killed the Tombstone right as she died. At least got a little bit of bounty right there, but obviously getting picked up, definitely the bigger deal. Is going to find Undying over here. Oh, he has an Eclipse ready to go. Trying to run close enough. A beam is not going to connect, though, and Undying will be fine. Top lane, there's action up here. Looks like Sand King is going to get picked off meanwhile. The chase is on from Lich, though, and the nuke to finish off Ogre Magi. But at what cost situation for him, however. MSS chasing him back down, and Impale's back up. Can he land it? Absolutely. One more auto attack. He almost thought he had it first, but he finishes him off with the second one right there. So nice little back and forth battle at the top lane. But it does feel like NP, the slow start for them, they're starting to come online a little bit, though. I mean, Nyx Assassin, a lot to do with that Vendetta. Now you do have a level 6 Storm Spirit as well, so the Ball Lightning, of course, is going to start becoming more and more of a threat, at least ideally, for your Team NP.
Dire's top tower is
Yeah, MSS is really picking up the slack, sort of trying to rescue all these lanes, help at the top lane. Got that kill in the Lich mid, so sort of pulling things back together, and that's what you need to do.
Radiant's
So
middle
bottom
tower
lane,
is
this is
under
one of those
attack.
situations where I feel like in
Dire's top tower is
that
under
whatever
attack.
they're using, TeamSpeak, where he's just yelling out, team, port, anyone? and nobody was coming. He was literally kiting for a good 15 seconds right there, it felt like. And he ends up dying in the end, but so good chase by them. Oh, they find Storm Spirit in the jungle. Meanwhile, the Suns immediately Drinko comes out. Now the Wisp is here to save him initially with that overcharge. However, he's going to end up falling himself, but he did his job, you could say, as he helps to save his teammate, being the Storm Spirit there. Shortly dying after. So well played at least. Keep Storm Spirit alive. They try to roam through.
Yeah, it's the Storm starting to catch up a little bit. Is going for the Arcanes build into the Bloodstone, so trying to get that item quick. Instead of going for the more fighting-oriented build in the Treads. Not sure if that's good this game. They may need to get back into the game by fighting, but he does have the Wisp to help him farm, so he's going to farm very, very fast with that Wisp by his side, and has the overcharge to sort of counteract the attack speed loss he would have from the Treads. So going this Arcane's build speeds up his farm and also makes him able to fight because of the overcharge from the Wisp.
Yeah.
And yeah, just nice choice from Envy going for the Arcane Soul, just trying to catch up, going to this bottom lane for some safe farm to catch up, but BSJ not having any of that.
Oh man, that was a good attempt from Undying right there, again, really showing the potential of trying to keep Lich alive, but not enough. And the Tombstone actually killed right after that on top of the tower. So, yeah, right before that, too, Sand King kind of caught hiding into the trees. He ended up being seen, and they just nuked the hell out of him and eventually killed him. So, a nice couple of kills coming out for Team NP right there. And you see the net worth chart. It's kind of been an up and down. Slowly advantage for Freedom, but it feels like, especially after that, starting to climb a little bit back for NP. Experience kind of the same story now. You know, I've kind of been wondering to myself, when is Luna going to move? Like, I feel like she's been at this top lane for a long time now, and she's died a couple times up here. Now, she is 3 kills, and she does have a Dragonlance. I mean, her farm overall is pretty solid, but should Aoi be going to the bottom lane by now, you think, or...?
I'm not sure. Normally you do break up trial lanes like that. Like, once you take the tower, you'll typically break it up, but they took the tower so late because this lane went quite poorly that, that they didn't really need to break it up. It was sort of weird for them to switch. The Sand King would have got fast Blink Dagger, so I guess they were committing more to shutting down the Sand King's Blink timing by a little bit and having the Anti-Mage, maybe have a quicker Battle Fury.
Yeah.
And just play it that way. Wow, nice tether from SVG, just barely staying alive.
Yeah, and he has that Storm Spirit, obviously, with the ball lightning here. Is going to continue to be mobile and continue moving. SVG, though, the link's wearing off. Yes, he uses it once again. He takes a stun, though, and the burst is too much. Again, even the Tombstone coming out, maybe a very, very ambitious Tombstone right there. Obviously not much of a fight breaking out, at least near it. As they're going to chase, though. BSJ blinks in very aggressively with Puck, though, nearby. However, now here's the turn potential. Stun through from Nyx with that Impale. Pops that spiked Carapace, and now he is running, though. Meanwhile, Luna comes in with the Eclipse, gets the 1 kill on a Lich, and now Undying also in trouble. He, too, is going to be followed on and eventually killed, and they get 2 kills out of it. So, yeah, Freedom felt like they really were sticking around a bit longer than they should have in that fight there.
Yeah, they were trying to get the kill on the Storm. I think the Puck silence was on cooldown a little bit longer, though. I think he'd used it on the Wisp, and I'm not realizing that maybe. So, not silencing the Storm, him zipping away, just sort of kiting them for a while, and Aoi coming in with a nice TP, getting the double kill with the Eclipse. So, now on top of the net worth charts, has the Dragonlance either going to be building into the Yasha, into the Manta, or into the HOD, and being more farming oriented. We'll have to see what he goes for, but BSJ only 1 component from the Battle Fury now, so he's definitely on a good track to have a big impact this game. The Storm's still quite far away from his Bloodstone.
Does have a Soul Ring that he just purchased, actually, so going to get that earlier game progress here. Meanwhile, Lich, level 6, has that Chain Frost to use. See if he finds a good opportunity. This is not going to be one, as he's going to be opened on yet again. Not going to be enough damage initially, but there is that forward in from IO with the Storm Spirit that relocate, of course. And he'll go right back to where he was from in the near future here. So, well played to make sure to secure that kill. I think even without them, probably still would have been a kill, but and he can never be too certain. That's them using that relocate, though, due to their advantage.
Yeah, it's definitely something you're going to have to worry about this game, is just Nyx is just always going to be looking for kills, and you're always going to have the Storm relocating in. Nyx actually going for a Midas, so it looks like they're realizing this game may go a bit longer. The Anti-Mage not really in a position where they can stop him from getting the Battle Fury and take all his towers, so Luna going for the HOD as well, so looks like MP is buckling up to play a farming game. And maybe take this game a little bit longer, get some items, and fight then, instead of going for a super early game draft like they did before.
Well, if BSG's anti-mage is anything like Arteezy's anti-mages you're getting at, I think they do want to make sure to take care of business here before that late game kind of comes around, as we saw earlier. So, Blink Dagger onto Ike's Mike here, playing that Sand King. Obviously, a very crucial pickup for them, and they're rotating towards the middle, so they're being really aggressive here, trying to find some kind of plays. But yeah, this is what kind of goes back to the draft for me of Freedom, where they got the Sand King, they got the Puck, which are two very aggressive gank-ready heroes. But then you got a Lich and an Undying, which seem more of this laid back, like more of this wanting to support and keep people alive kind of. Now they're going to find an opportunity right here onto MSS, and yes, the Chain Frost bouncing between the Siege Creep and him a couple of times to secure that kill. So that actually works out pretty well. And Ogre's going to die. What was he doing there?
He misclicked his TP. He got coiled and he ported right next to himself.
Oh, no. So, yeah, he just ported right there. Okay. That was...
Yeah, he was standing at the tier 1 and he ported to their tier 1 and died.
Well, that's something you don't want to do.
I've never seen that before in a pro game. That's actually hilarious.
Do they not just double-click the TP to port back to base? I feel like that's a strategy.
I'm not sure. He might not have that setting on.
Ah, noob, I see. I can teach the pros something, apparently.
Let the fun begin.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, Epicenter? What is he going for here? Oh, he steals the rune, and he's going to take out Storm Spirit as well. That was very well played by X Mike. Very well timed at that. Yeah, this Observer Ward up here spotted that whole piece coming along. And he gets a very solid kill. I mean, I got to say, Freedom, this is looking really good for Freedom now, especially after those couple of kills that take place. Bouncing back for them.
Yeah, definitely looking considerably better than last game. Although things are starting to look up for MP. Only one piece away from the Bloodstone now in the Storm Spirit, so finally catching up. And oh,
yeah, relocate in, and they do get the kill on BSJ. That's that relocate power that we're talking about. Puck, meanwhile, to the Discord out. You see the Undying pops his ultimate as well, but the Eclipse doing so much damage in that spread. Gets the kill on Undying. The stun there on a Puck at the last second with the beam. Not enough for the kill, though, and Luna realizes she has to port on out. Ain't going to work, though, as he got Sand King stopping that with the barrel strike of his. However, Nyx Assassin is able to pick off Puck, but at what cost? The auto attack secures the death onto him. So a lot of back and forth coming out right there. I guess really a 3-for-3 in the midst of it. Anti-Mage going down, though. So did Luna, I guess. So, yeah, both teams losing their carries. Really just even trades coming out there on either side.
Yeah, they traded pretty similarly on kills, but the Storm during all that time was farming top. He's going to devoid this ward now as well. So almost up to that Bloodstone, which is an item you definitely need on this hero. The Puck going down as well is pretty big for NP. Had a big kill streak there, so probably slightly MP favored exchange. This Nyx Assassin almost, is halfway to the Ags as well already, so definitely something NP is pretty okay with. And the Luna, pretty farmed as well, has the Yasha as well as the HOD now, so after this couple of deaths early on, it started to catch up.
Yeah. Progress on the other side. I mean, we know Anti-Mage here. Looks like that Yasha, of course, coming along for BSJ, the Battle Fury. Obviously finished first. We're going to see the Force Staff on Sand King. It'd be the easy guess right there. And then Puck, another 1,200 gold saved up to go with the Blink Dagger, as well as that Veil of Discord. So a little bit of observations there throughout the lineup of Freedom. As far as the other side, you mentioned the Yags. Almost there for Nyx. We did get the Hand of Midas earlier on. There is the Bloodstone. Finished on Storm Spirit, so eventually gets that. About 18.5 minutes here.
Dire's middle tower
Or Eternal Levies. Died a couple times this game, so yeah, a little bit slower than we like. Go 4 times actually, so understandable there. They got a relocate ready to use. Wondering if they're going to maybe try for something, but yeah, they're all grouped up here at the top lane, so not worth it.
Yeah, they may look for a fight here though, or at least to defend this tower. Now that the Storm has Bloodstone, they definitely want to start racking up some charges before this Anti-Mage gets so many items that they can't really deal with them. So this Nyx is probably going to go snooping around for a gank. Looks like Luna's TPing up to defend this mid lane as well. So maybe you're going to group up, fight this tower. It's definitely a fight they can take. The Storm now really tanky, and the Anti-Mage without a manta, so not really too many ways to burn all the Storm's mana or kill him before he zips away with the Wisp, with the defensive capabilities of that hero as well.
Yeah, really trying to put the pressure here at the top lane. Again, when it comes to team fights, Freedom would not mind doing so with a lot of AoE synergy of their abilities, definitely, and just overall presence in said team fights. Feels like it's pretty good. Not that it's bad on NP's side, but that's going to be the strength of Freedom, it feels like, this game. But, God, they're being very patient up here. They are really waiting for somebody to poke out. But Eternal Envy, he's not falling for it. He does have the support coming in now with Ogre as well as the Wisp, but, I mean, even now they're still just kind of sitting back. I mean, they don't see them anywhere else on the map is probably what it is, so they figure, you know, they're probably still around. So it's just kind of funny to see a team just sitting in the trees like this for a good minute almost. Nothing really coming out of it.
What they wanted to do was defend this tower and then have the Nyx find somebody, relocate and get a kill, and then take the fight from there because they know the enemy mage can't be there. But ESJ sniffing it out, staying just ahead of Nyx, one step at a time, so not able to get that relocate gank with the Nyx burst damage. So Anime just continuing to farm up, only 1500 away from his meta style now. And the Nyx almost to his Ags as well, so core items getting finished up across the board. And this game is going to come a lot down to this this big fight. You know, whenever that first team fight, 5 heroes from each team taking part in, that's sort of going to decide the fate of this game. Because right now things are pretty even, but as this game goes later and later, things are going to start getting really scary for the Storm Spirit.
Yeah. Anti-Mage bottom lane pushing it out. Now Nyx is nearby with a double damage rune actually. It's just about to wear off though. And obviously there is support on top of that, so it'd be silly for Nyx to try for anything right here. Instead he's going to scout things out, and he'll notice that, well, Sand King happens to be nearby, and there's another support even, and a Dying also coming in, but ports in from NP. Oh, they're looking to make a play of this Vendetta opening on a Sand King. The Impale comes out. The Storm Spirit follow up. Undying is here. Not going to be able to save him, though. And now Undying, the one in some trouble. Throws down the Tombstone, if anything, to distract them. As look at the Anti-Mage with those illusions. He jumps in the Mana Void to secure that kill onto the Nyx Assassin. So really not the worst exchange for Freedom. In fact, fairly even as far as Nyx for the Sand King there.
Yeah, trading offliners, the Storm gets a Bloodstone charge, which is nice, but not the fight that MP was looking for. They want to find a fight where they can get a lot of Bloodstone charges, shut down this Anti-Mage, but Freedom playing the split game, forcing them to just farm and look for fights with this Nyx, but sitting behind the Anti-Mage, turning the kill around, and breaking basically even.
Podcast the Invis here is going to make the escape. Tomato, very well played on his part, using the Blank Dagger after the Illusory Orb and getting the distance. Obviously the Invis rune helping with that, but ultimately makes the escape. Top lane, BSJ should be fine. Yeah, Star Spirit's not going to remotely even risk anything right here. He just kind of goes in and quickly runs away. The tower will be destroyed, and then he blinks away. Puck, though, jumps in with a Dream Coil, and the Drain Frost now coming out. Will it bounce more than once? No, it will not. Well played right there on the spread from NP. However, the chase now continues. Tombstone put down. Ogre Magi on the run. Bloodlust himself, and he'll be good in the background over here. What is that about? Nyx simply gets caught in the background in that flank position, so he goes down, and Freedom may keep this push working now.
Yeah, they already have the Tombstone, so they may back out and just push out the lanes, not taking any risks. It looks like that's what they're going to do. Frida has a very strong timing coming up where the Anti-Mage has a Basher, gets close to the Abyssal, and the Storm and Luna haven't gotten to critical mass yet. If they can hit that timing really well, hit it right on the head, then Freedom is going to have a really, really strong window where they can take fights quite well. Past that window where the Anti-Mage has, you know, the Basher, the Abyssal Blade, and they can burst heroes, the game is going to start getting more and more into NP's favor. So they have a window where this Anti-Mage is going to be extremely strong. But past that window, the Storm and the Luna are going to start to scale a little bit better than just this this Puck, who's not a great scaling core. The Nyx is going to get items, has almost the Aghanims now, so it's going to get progressively harder and harder for Freedom after that crucial timing. But if they can hit that, then they definitely have a very good shot at taking this game.
Yeah, no, it's one of the first game to really kind of set things up, and just the way the feelings a lot of people had going into it, including ourselves, of, oh, this could be, you know, a fairly quick or 2-0. I mean, obviously not going to lie there, but this is definitely Team Freedom definitely making a statement themselves that they cannot be overlooked. They're here to play and pull out a victory, and right now they're in a good spot here to take game 2 and force a third game if things continue to work in their favor. The Aegis on top of that for Anti-Mage. Of course, a big pickup to have there. There is the Axe for Nyx. So at least they have that now. He throws out the Burrow right away, in fact, here in the middle lane, but having that's good. It looks like the Orchid's also coming along for Storm Spirit now. be another big pickup. 4,000 gold on Aoi. So what do we think Aoi's getting here?
Probably a butterfly. BKB is nice this game for him at some point, but in a game like this, it's probably going to go pretty late. You want to get the BKB as late as possible. Well, okay, so as I say that, he gets the BKB. It was between the BKB and the butterfly. I guess they want to, take a fight timing. It's sort of like a when they want to fight and when they want to farm. And, like when they want to hit that timing, when they want to take the big fights, they make sure they win. And I guess that timing is now. They have a smoke coming out or have one on one of their heroes. So are going to go take a fight. The Storm Spirit has the Orchid as well, so it's a pretty good timing for NP. It comes a lot down to if they can get the jump or not with the Storm Spirit and the Nyx. If they can blow up some of the supports, the Orchid now and the Storm Solo, Standing King has to be very, very careful. If they can jump him and kill him, take the gem, then things will go quite well for MP. But if they, botch the initiation or any mage is able to get a good mana void on Storm, then things will swing the other way pretty easily.
There we go with that smoke. You see the illusions of Anti-Mage pushing top. Luna will go ahead and destroy those. Off to the side, though, they do find a catch. Looks like onto that Sand King over the Chain Frost. It's going to come out, start bouncing around. Wisp off the bat is already picked off. Meanwhile, Anti-Mage getting very low, actually. Standing his ground, he's going to be able to blink out, but again, he has Aegis, remember. Worst case scenario. In fact, he goes back in because that Aegis will be popped right here. You see Burrow from Nyx. He's going to unburrow, though, and try to run. They do get Ogre Magi, but now the Aegis resurrection of Anti-Mage. He's back into the fight. Wanted to chase, but the rest of them will not commit to it. NP does fall back. Storm Spirit got out of there fairly quickly. Anti-Mage taking some good damage here, but wow, he's at half life already. In fact, Storm Spirit coming to the sides as well. Mana Cell pop, though. Oh my god, the chain's going to continue, though, but not close enough. If they got Anti-Mage there, oh, that would have been a disaster for Freedom. At least he escaped, so.
Yeah, it was pretty close. The fight played out really weird. Envy jumped to the backline and tried to kill the puck, but just a little bit too tanky. Wasn't able to finish off the kill. So just sort of wasted a lot of his time. Wasn't really in the main bulk of that fight and not really getting that much done. So the fight, slightly Freedom favored. They get a couple of kills. They lose the Aegis, but Puck has the Hex now. So the Storm needs to be very, very careful in a pretty precarious position where they have a lot of ways where they can deal with the Storm Spirit. So even more than ever, this game comes a lot down to initiation, who gets the jump on who, and if Envy can win this fight in a duration to where they kill his Anti-Mage or they force the Anti-Mage to back so he doesn't nuke his team.
I was just about to ask, and we see them attempt to use it right there. Oh, that's a gem drop too. Yeah, that's pretty solid kill for Team NP as they pick up the Sand King here at the bottom lane. Have they been using the relocate enough? Do you feel like? And I mean, we really haven't seen a lot coming out. I mean, even right there, it was the kill had already happened, basically, as they relocated in. Is that something that they could possibly have been doing more, maybe with that Storm Spirit, or really has it just not been opportunity, you feel like?
There really hasn't been that many opportunities for them to do so. Freedom has been playing as 4 and Anti-Mage alone, mostly, and they've been trying to get pickoffs with the Nyx Assassin, but, as I say that.
Yeah. Well, they find Storm Spirit and get him before he can even blink. Yeah, that Abyssal Blade. Not even necessary there, actually, just simply lockdown provided.
Yeah, the Puck with the Hex into the Silence. Losing all of those Bloodstone charges, and now realizing they have the Hex and the Abyssal up, the Storm has to play a lot more with his team, and it looks like they realize that and are going to go smoke and try and take a large-scale fight now.
Yeah, that's something else that's going to be to the benefit, too, of Freedom right here. So, actually, speaking of that Puck middle lane, here comes a Chain Frost. It's not going to bounce, though, Storm Spirit. He'll just actually ball lightning away before too much else damage comes out. Sand King, meanwhile, gets the jump on a Nyx Assassin out to the side, takes him out. Eclipse popping out from Aoi 2000 here on that Luna. Anti-Mage jumped in pretty aggressively, gets healed up from Undying. Luna trying to stand his ground with that BKB, but he's not strong enough. He has to run, as he's doing here. A Puck following, though. There's a stun from Sand King, hoping to secure a further kill onto the Wisp, it looks like. And Luna is also going to be picked off. A double kill for Anti-Mage throughout it. 4 for nothing right there in the middle lane. Yeah, Freedom is this is their game to lose now.
Yeah, they hit the timing right on the head. They have the Hex, they have the Abyssal Blade, and they can't really split up anymore, but they also don't really 5-man that well. Freedom has all these Lich armors that are stacking up and making the Storm and Luna practically useless. They did almost no damage in that fight. Stuns from the Sand King. They just have so many disables, it makes it really hard for these squishy cores of Storm and Luna to really do anything in these fights. And this Hex and Abyssal Blade really just showing how strong, having metric tons of disables, so the Storm really can never commit to fights without being super careful, or like so in the last fight, hurting his team a whole lot with the mana void.
Yeah, that's something I was actually going to bring up as that fight was breaking out right there, but you touched on it too. The Lich with that ice armor of his is +9 armor now, and he's just constantly passing that around, of course, to every single hero, making sure at least the priority heroes have it, if not everyone, as much as possible here. So that's just so much more armor that you have to get through as a team, and it's making those individual auto attacks just do that much less damage, of course. So 30 minutes into this game, Freedom kind of hit their peak, not peak necessarily, they've really taken off now, and yeah, over 7,500 net worth lead here, as we do see, on top of, yeah, the experience is just absurd, over 14,000 even, so you got the Eagle Song pickup from Luna, so it looks like the Butterfly is very likely going to be that follow-up here. I was going to say, does Anti-Mage maybe need a BKB himself, but well, he does have an Ogre Club, so I guess that could be what we're seeing here next.
Yeah, he's basically unkillable if he gets a BKB. The only right-click damage they have really is the Luna, and she doesn't have enough right now to actually threaten a kill. So if the enemy does get this BKB, there's almost no way Freedom or MP can kill them. And that last fight was sort of a reality check, I imagine, for MP, stomping that previous game, thinking, oh, we got these guys game 2, and then sort of ending up with a weird draft, not banning Anti-Mage with the Storm, thinking they can handle it, I guess, and it really costing them, as it's a very difficult matchup for the Storm Spirit. So now we're sort of forced to just walk around and farm as a team, try and get up some core items so they can maybe defend their base or try and take this next upcoming fight. But it's really hard, like we said before, all these disables, now they animate with the BKB.
Yeah, Luna just going through the jungle, trying to work on finishing that Butterfly of hers, of course, but yeah, Anti-Mage with the BKB in the next fight that's soon to come, I'm sure. 2,700 gold saved up on Puck, so obviously buyback for him is important, but we'll see what next item Puck could even get in the works right here to go along with the Anti-Mage being on his team here. I think a Yule Scepter being worked on by Sand King meanwhile.
Yeah, it's definitely a nice pickup for the Sand King. Anything they can do to deal with the Orchid from the Storm, they're all just sort of building these items that make it to where NP has no way to kill them, and they have such limited ways to kill people that if they do build items to counter those limited ways, then NP just doesn't really have a way to fight, a way to kill people with the Lich Armor on top of it, dying heals, all that stuff that we already talked about. NP's fight conditions are just so easy for them to win fights. So, I mean, sorry, Freedom's fight conditions, and NP, it's just very difficult for them to win fights at this point.
Over here.
Well, they're going to attempt to get more farm, especially on the Storm Spirit now with the Perseverance purchased. But meanwhile, they might want to think about defending that bottom lane, because here we go with BSJ leading the way on the Anti-Mage and pushing in that secondary tower. The fifth one destroyed. You see the top lane still has that secondary tower ready to go right here. They get it taken out and quickly falls back to the Anti-Mage for another 2,400 gold already saved up on him. But Roshan is going to be attempted now by Team Freedom. It looks like that's the targeted choice, the objective for them. The Hood of Defiance, meanwhile, on the Stash of Untying, another solid item that they're going to be able to work with as the next fight comes up. So NP, I mean, they do get the Butterfly now on Luna, as mentioned. Is there another item that they're kind of waiting for, you think, that they want before they maybe try to make a fight happen, or what?
I mean, at this stage of the game, I don't really think there's a particular item that makes them a lot better at fighting. I think they just need a lot of items on everyone. So I'm pretty sure their game plan right now is just to sort of stall, to last as long as they can, and just hold the high ground versus Anti-Mage, because he's eventually going to get 6-slotted and not get any stronger. This Puck is a core that doesn't really scale that well, so NP at this point just going to play for the late game, I think, trying to get 6-slotted on one of their cores. The Nyx Assassin is a very scary core late game, and ends up being quite good versus the Anti-Mage as the game goes later and later, because you can burn all of his mana, stun him, and just keep him from being that super mobile carry when he has no mana to blink. So yeah, I think that's sort of NP's game plan at this point, is trying to split the lanes, pull Freedom around, and draw out this game as long as possible so they can survive through Freedom's super strong timing of having all these disables and tanky items. Speaking of tanky items, the Puck getting his Shivas now as well, so him building up on top of that armor with the Lich armor, almost 40 armor now, so crazy tanky.
Yeah, that's definitely a big pickup to have for him. Talking about the Lich on top of that, so not the easiest target to kill. Really is no one on this Freedom side. across the board. And that kind of goes back to, I was bringing up that point earlier, but obviously it's worked out for Freedom. But that's where it was a little bit funky with the synergy of Freedom with the aggressive play. But it's worked out enough to now that we are in this later game state that both Lich and Undying are providing kind of this surviving supporting cast, and they're also not necessarily squishy supports themselves. So you don't have really any easy pick across the board here if you're Team NP to maybe feed on, at least just start the recovery game. But this top tower, it's gonna fall here. I mean, fortification gonna be used, just delaying what is the inevitable though, as Aoi 2000 will go through the jungle and the bottom tower down here himself to maybe get some split push going. It also has the illusions on the middle lane right there, but they are going to need to defend their base, as Lincoln Sphere is finished by Storm Spirit. So this is a big fight, really, to kind of tell us, is this Freedom really making the statement to try to win this game, or can NP hold? That's the question. Storm Spirit going in, pulls in. Meanwhile, Burrow Strike in the background catches Ogre Magi. You see a couple of stuns happening onto BSJ there, but he'll be fine. And he's just holding his ground, pounding into the racks. Has that Aegis.
He's pushing so fast. These racks are almost dead.
Oh, that's a good point, actually. Yeah, at the bottom lane they are, aren't they? Oh, my God. Luna down here is going to be ported back with a relocate, actually, from Wisp. Meanwhile, they did lose the top melee racks, though, so they were split pushing the whole time. And almost got the racks, but good reaction from Freedom, though, to actually get back. Defend right there, but are they going back in? They certainly are. Yeah, the relocate coming back in with Storm Spirit. They catch Lich. Meanwhile, Lich is going to fall right here, and the ranged racks is probably going to be picked up. In fact, here comes Luna. They're going to get the melee racks most likely. Puck comes in, but those glaives bouncing around, and it is going to be enough damage. Port coming in from somebody. That would be actually Nick's assassin with those bots of his. He gets done immediately, though, by the Burrow Strike, and he is probably regretting this decision right off the bat. Spiked Carapace being used, though. Gets the stun off, the Impale to follow. That mana burn, so all of a sudden Anti-Mage out of mana. Burrow ain't going to happen as a Burrow Strike comes through. And they will at least kill the Nyx to finish it. But how about that split push from NP? They end up getting both the racks down there.
Yeah, realizing the BSJ had treads, no bots yet, so just outmaneuvering them, forcing them to come back, leaving the ranged rack still alive top, which is not too big of a deal, but it's something nice. And then porting EE back, Aoi buying bots because he didn't have money for bots, so bringing back the person who couldn't get there on their own, and then having all three heroes there getting the racks, getting a couple pickup kills as well. So NP with that maneuver actually in a reasonable position right now, but Freedom is still very, very strong as a 5-man unit, so it's going to go and try and take down these buildings again.
Yeah, this is a game that definitely could, it's kind of setting up to be almost, it feels like, to be one of those more epic kind of finishes, the way that split push take place right there. But, yeah, you got Freedom now, once again grouping up against, mentioned, the Aegis onto Anti-Mage. Can't be much longer left on that, so it is just rushing towards this bottom and trying to at least push that back now, of course, with the racks being taken in favor of the Radiant side here. So teammates, though, they're a little bit behind. You have IX Mike making his way over there on the Sand King, but not there just yet, so don't want to go too crazy at this point. They're making the way to the front, however. But NP, again, the question, they can't really split push this time. They don't really have that creep wave pushed up to port 2 or anything like that, so they are going to have to really just defend this time around. We'll see how well they can actually do that here. As there's a Burrow, or maybe they are actually. SVG, they're going somewhere? No, he's just going to port to the bottom lane. And yeah, so they were thinking about it, but they did not go. Burrow striking off from Sand King. Here we go. The initiation sparks. Face popped by Nyx in the midst of that, but he's still dropping very quickly. BSJ is putting in the auto attacks, gets the kill, but the Eclipse out from Luna meanwhile and takes out Puck actually. So 1-for-1. I think actually NP pretty satisfied with that. Eternal Envy going in, pulls an Eagle right there on that Undying, but the Glimmer keeps saving him for now. Not for long though. The beam comes out. Anti-Mage in the background. Is he going to go back in? Doesn't need to just yet. The Epicenter not going to do any damage though. IX Mike getting blocked by his creep even. And he did not want to Burrow Strike further right there. So he decides it's best to run away. And it will be a successful hold by NP in the end.
Yeah, really nice play from them, not getting too over-aggressive. All those mana burns stacking up, but keeping BSJ from having enough mana to mana void. So he committed pretty hard, was pretty low on mana, but MSS just constantly spamming the mana burns. And the Aegis not regenerating until they were way up that hill, didn't have mana to turn back and mana void him, so they ended up just having to back. And NP showing showing your strength and not chasing super far, knowing that, hey, we can get a few more items, we'll be super strong. Speaking of more items, out with an AC now, so limiting Anti-Mage's damage quite a bit now with the, you know, they have pretty tanky naturally heroes. The Storm Spirit here, it's hard to kill. Nexus with the Burrow, the Ogre with a lot of armor, and now the Luna with the AC on top. They're actually pretty strong right now. A whole lot of damage and greatly reducing what Sandy Mage can do.
Yeah, this is something right here. NP really making a stand here, making the hold, and now we're kind of in that spot yet again of, well, I would assume probably another Roshan is what we're going to be waiting for here. I mean, I don't see Freedom really trying to break through the base, pending a pick or anything like that. Just trying to bang their heads against a wall. So Roshan very likely going to be a possibility. As far as vision goes, neither team has vision in that area right now. You do see NP with some wards near their Ancients over here. To see anyone maybe coming through with some gank possibilities, but other than that, pretty dark on the map right now. But yeah, and then there's also the possibility of the relocate for some backdoor presence, as Luna's going somewhere. Okay, just back to base, so not a big deal there, sending the illusions out.
Yeah, in games like this where it slows down a whole lot, you quite often the team with the better scaling supports does really well in these fights, and Lich as a hero scales just terribly into the late game. His only good spell late game is Ice Armor, and it's sort of past its due date as NP has quite a few attack speed items now. The Ogre has the Bloodlust he can give to everyone, so this Ice Armor not really doing that much. So now the most useful thing Lich has is a Glimmer Cape. Any hero can have a Glimmer Cape, so Freedom basically playing 4v5 at this point. The Undying's still reasonably useful with the Tombstone. You know, forces them to attack, it wastes some attacks, but whereas MP supports, you know, have this Bloodlust that increases all of their damage. He has a stun, the Wisp, Overcharge, and Relocate, always going to be massively useful, as well as the movement speed with the Luna, making her 5/2/2. So NP supports, as this game goes longer and longer, just really help the cores excel compared to Freedom supports.
Oh, they need to get back now. Wisp and Luna up here. Yeah, the chase is on. Sand King, that Burrow stuck with the Axe, but he missed. Beautiful tether from Wisp. He's going to be taken by the Eels, though, and I think that's just pretty much giving up. That, if anything, it make them chase him. And so, good decision right there from the Wisp, who, yeah, he is going to eventually die right here. Meanwhile, Aoi 2000 still running. There is the Abyssal Blade stun. Biesta, he's pretty far up here, though, although that team support is now coming in. The Shivas as well. Luna going to be bursted down. The Mana Void to secure that. So now Luna does have a buyback, but good chase by Anti-Mage, actually. Does that prove to be? They catch him, and now double damage also up here too, which I believe they're going to spot right here. So this should be picked up by Anti-Mage or given to him somehow. Yeah, you see the ping's coming out, and he blinks right back towards it. So
yeah, they're probably going to have to expend this buyback on Luna. Either that or pull off some miracle stalling with the Nyx just stunning people over and over again. Cause getting just overextending, staying there a little bit too long, and NP looks like he's not going to try and cut the waves. Looks like he's hitting bottom to start the split push, and sort of having conflicting thoughts. OE is looks like he's gonna zip from the backline, but Dire having that ward, seeing where he is, they may actually be expecting this to be able to jump him.
Yeah, they're just going to the middle lane actually, and well, they're going full force. In fact, in the background, they jump really far in on that Nyx assassin. However, they don't get the kill on him. He's hiding that Burrow for the time being. Gets another impale off. The stun with the spikes. Carapace is actually going to survive. And Puck's in trouble. Gets the illusory off at the last second and able to port with it and manages to live. Nobody dying there. That's unbelievable. There's the buyback onto Luna finally happening. But that will be enough to scare off Freedom, of course. But wow, I mean, several heroes getting so low right there. And actually all surviving in the end. But
I'll take your treatment.
At least, again, NP does hold. Granted, a buyback used onto Luna. It's for 6.5 minutes now. Going to be down.
Yeah, NP picking up a couple of smokes as well as Freedom, so everybody realizing how important this Rosh is right now. Whoever gets the Rosh may even decide who wins this game, as it is very, very close right now. So looks like they're going to smoke over to that area, maybe try and get a pick off and secure the Roshan for Aoi since he doesn't have that buyback.
Yeah, there is cheese on it as well. So yeah, both teams understandably heading to that direction. See scans coming out, and actually NP headed right up towards the middle lane. So maybe they're willing to trade right here. If they want to go for Roshan, NP's saying, you know, we'll destroy your base in the meantime. So this is an interesting decision from NP. Also maybe going for a pick, and they're going to find one right here. The Vendetta opening on a Puck. That's going to be a quick pick right there. Buyback is ready for Puck, but obviously they give away their position, but it's still a very worthy kill. That's what they wanted out of it. Burrow strike initiation, though. Nyx Assassin dropping fast. The auto attack from Anti-Mage is so strong. He did pop the BKB right away. He also catches Ogre Magi and gets the kill onto him. So a 2-for-0 really there as far as that fight taking place. And Puck did buy back, by the way. And now here we go back yet again. So no Roshan, actually, from either side just yet.
Yeah, the Nyx Assassin does have the buyback. Oh gosh, they had the ward there. He may get caught here.
Oh my gosh, are they going to actually secure this kill? The X comes out. They absolutely are. Again, buyback on him, but yeah, they're going to start using them. Nyx uses his. That felt like an unnecessary death right there.
Yeah, he didn't know they had that ward there, so just it's hard stuff like that's hard to avoid. And you know, nice ward spotting him out. Now he's gonna have to buy back too, so all this gold being spent is really gonna stifle the Storm Spirit's item progression. He was almost to that Hex whenever he died. But he may not actually have to. Only 25 seconds left, and they do have the Nyx to stall it out, so
Yeah.
looks like they're gonna play it safe and go for that Roshan.
Yeah, that's big that he doesn't have to buy that because you mentioned about 20 seconds, but they are going for Roshan. Will they be able to kill this quick enough is now the question. I feel like it. I mean, Anti-Mage already doing so much damage. They're going to try to run over. Not really. I mean, yeah, they got a smoke ready to use, but it's clearly not going to happen in time. I mean, this is going to be an Aegis here for Freedom. They are running over now, but it is too late. The Sandstorm is up. The Aegis, it's going to be picked up by Puck, actually, right here. And yeah, NP now kind of just sitting on the hill, waiting to maybe get some kind of overextension here. Going to head towards the bottom. Oh, they're pinging all over the place. I don't think they're even sure. They're going to find Lich, actually. Stun comes out. The barrel strike kind of, I think it maybe hit one in the background, but that Eclipse doing so much spread damage. They get the one kill onto the Sand King, and it does actually finish off Lich in the background. Meanwhile, though, you got Anti-Mage going in. He takes out Wisp as well. Storm Spirit picked off. The Hex on a Nyx Assassin, who's on the run now, but he ain't going to get away from the Anti-Mage. Ogre Magi ports out right in front of him, only for his teammate to fall as well. So Luna did get out of there pretty quickly. All right, well, they lose 3 heroes, though. All with buyback. No, Nyx does not have a buyback. That's right.
Yeah, but back in that last fight, the Storm does have it, so he'll have to use it. And this Puck having the buyback, he's not really a hero that they can burst anymore, so he's looking pretty grim for NP. Aoi does pick up the MKB, so doing a lot more damage now. I forget what he sold for that, but it's definitely very, very hard hitting, but it's hard to do.
Okay. Star Spirit flying on through. And brought back right there, so there's the racks, though, going down. And the range racks to follow, so they basically have to give it up there. You mentioned without Nyx, not really worthy of holding. So they do lose the middle racks now, but the game will kind of reset here for Freedom. The Aegis, as you mentioned on a Puck here, still has that, so kind of fall back, get bigger and better items if they can. I mean, if you're Anti-Mage here, he does already have the Moonshard buff as well. It's, you know, what else can he get really at this point? Does he get rid of the Battle Fury?
He can get rid of the Battle Fury and go for something like a Mjolnir and then like drop, I don't know, things sort of get weird now. He may drop his Butterfly for an AC now that the Luna has an MKB, but the Storm still doesn't, so he may actually just keep it. It sort of depends on what NP goes for and what he thinks is best, but he's definitely going to save for buyback, so not really going to buy anything right now.
Yeah.
But NP is sort of in a rough position right now because they can't really fight outside the base, and so they sort of need to just sit around and wait for Freedom to make a mistake, maybe dive too far into the base, but that's not really what you want to be doing whenever you have a Luna. You want to be moving towards their base, you want to be pressuring their buildings, and they're just in a spot where they have to sit back, and the game is on Freedom to lose. They don't NP. It's not really an NP's control to make like aggressive moves. They may try as they LTV back to base, may end up going for a smoke or something, but they don't really have a ward to smoke to. In these late game fights, it's really important that you have these deep wards out so you can see where someone is, maybe head for a pickoff, but Freedom still having that gem on Sand King, having it for a while. NP doesn't have any of those deep wards, so not really anywhere they can easily smoke to and find a pickoff. So not a great position for NP right now.
Yeah, you can just tell from their vision, of course. Obviously, it is very, very dark right here. You have Nyx is scouting things out, but as we see, not going to be able to find anyone. Maybe find a double damage rune, which would be nice. No, he's porting back, actually, so figuring maybe they are elsewhere, and he'd be correct. Freedom is, in fact, in the Radiant jungle currently, moving on through with their own smoke. trying to catch somebody. They're going to catch some illusions there of Luna, but no real heroes as they've all fallen back to the base now. So into the base they go. Perhaps the game final push if Freedom is able to play this well enough. Coming out right here.
Yeah, they did pick up the Hex on Envy, so another way to lock down this Anti-Mage once GB wears off. Maybe a way they could take this fight by just focusing down this Anti-Mage.
Oh, there's a stun to start it off right there. Sand King in the background as well. He gets a Burrow Strike off. A Storm Spirit's flying around. Uses the Hex on a Sand King, actually. They want him dead. BKBs are up, though. Aoi 2000 in the midst of it. Spamming those cleaves with the auto attacks. Doing so much damage with the Eclipse as well. Anti-Mage getting fairly low, but he's able to blink out beforehand. Nobody dead, are you kidding me, throughout all of that? Unbelievable. But the racks are dead. So Freedom, they're like, we're fine with that. That's good.
Yeah, they just chilled. They didn't overextend. The Anti-Mage hit the buildings, didn't go for heroes at all, and Envy, the other hero, was making space for the puck going in, sort of messing around, wasting EE's time, so wasn't able to jump the Anti-Mage, popping BKB at just the right time, and getting out. So Freedom, only 2 range wrecks left, and those are pretty easy to break down as they don't heal, so Freedom in a very, very commanding position right now. As long as they don't make any major mistakes, they should be able to steal this game out.
I'll take your tribute.
Resetting here now, refreshing as mentioned. But yeah, it's been on them to lose really, and you got to wonder if NP's, well, they maybe just try for something like a death ball here, just smoke up, run right for the base, and try to just race it if anything. But yeah, their decisions obviously are very, very limited to basically nothing. They really just have to hope for some throw of a Team Freedom, and hey, this could help right here. I expect top lane. No, he's gonna blink out before they can catch him. So I had a little bit of an opening there to make a gank at least, but unable to come through with it, so we'll instead continue to farm and any bit that they can nearby. Meanwhile, Freedom moving as a team up here. They're circling basically exactly where they are. Storm Spirit goes in, he immediately blinks away though. With the ball landing off to the side. The Burrow Strike just missed Nick's Assassin, but I don't think he's getting out of this one. He pops a spike to Carapace. In comes the BKB though from Anti-Mage, and gonna just sit on top until eventually gets him killed. And again, Nyx is not buying back still. 70 seconds. That's he's staying dead for. So is this it for Freedom? We're gonna find out here.
Yeah, the Nyx no buyback, not enough gold, and still on cooldown. So it's looking grim. Looks like it's gonna be mega creeps. He's trying his best to do something, but not much he can do.
Yeah, he just throws with the sheep, but obviously that doesn't really do too much. Luna just charges in, but again, Freedom's playing it very smart. The BKB use, they're just gonna let it reset right there before going in themselves. So now we have VSJ. He's ready to fight once again. Oh, looks like the Chain Frost coming out, only bouncing once though, so minimal damage. But there's the Mega Creeps. And now Dire will fall back and kind of let the game take care of business for them. Yeah, the Creeps start pushing now.
Yeah, NP has a lineup that can deal with Mega Creeps for a very long time, maybe even indefinitely with the Luna, the Glaives, the Bloodlust. So it is possible for them to defend the base, but whenever Freedom comes knocking at their door with 6 slots on everybody and buybacks on everyone, it's gonna be NP is gonna be very hard pressed to defend their base versus that. So we'll see what their plan is. They may end up going for some sort of a death ball down the lane, down the mid lane.
Yeah.
How he shoves this top lane as far as he can with the match style illusions. Something's on the courier. Aui's going for Satanic, looks like, so tanking up a little bit, but NP in dire straits right now.
Yeah, I mean, there is that argument, too, for if you're NP right here. Not that they have anywhere to go necessarily, but it's, how long is long enough, especially knowing that there is going to be a Game 3 if they happen to lose here in the end. So, how much do you really want to kind of go at it knowing that it could be just a losing cause in the end, but they're going to stick together here at the bottom lane. As mentioned, the Satanic is finished on Luna. And they're kind of just pushing back the creep waves here. But Roshan, okay, not up just yet. You can tell, though, Freedom is going to just wait for that to happen. In fact, I see about a minute and 20 seconds here. We're going to be good to go with Roshan. So as soon as that's back up, I'll look to finish that. And whether or not MP can actually do anything about that, probably not, because they'll be busy defending their base in the meantime.
Yep, Freedom playing a lot like NP did last game, playing it very, very safe, making sure no random slip-ups happen, and making sure the chances of them winning are as close to 100% as possible. waiting for the Aegis. The AMP or Refresher now, so has the double Abyssal, double Mana Void.
Oh, almost got. Yeah, Storm Spirit gets away just in time, flying all over the place. Needs to escape those four Bloodstone charges. Not the most attractive. Not where you want to be with that item, but obviously there's been a struggle here. Those 8 deaths, unfortunately. How's that graph looking? Yeah, it is the biggest it's been. No surprise there for Freedom. Just over 20,000 gold, so. Yeah, it kind of makes you wonder, you know, almost thinking about the next game draft as well for possibly NP. Is there anything here where they feel like that they, I mean, the Anti-Mage is the final pick. Like, that's what you sounded like you were really a fan of for Freedom and kind of opened up the doors there against NP. But, I mean, they're not going to ban that hero, right? So.
I mean, if you pick Storm, you should ban Anti-Mage, because they fourth picked the Storm, right? And they just assumed they could deal with the Anti-Mage. It just seems a little cocky to not ban Anti-Mage whenever you pick Storm. It's probably the hardest Storm counter in the game. Extremely hard to deal with, and maybe getting a little too big in their britches, thinking they could deal with it, or they didn't need to, and they could deal with something else. You know, ban out some other carry. I don't remember what they banned, but definitely coming back to bite them this game.
They banned Spectre. That's right. We're talking about that there. Yeah, so maybe thinking about that a little more in the next game, but yeah, definitely you got to give credit, of course, to Team Freedom here, like we're talking about. I mean, after that first game especially, and just the matchup going into it, I don't know if many people would have given them a chance here in this matchup, let alone a game, but they're on the verge of taking a second game, or taking game number 2, I should say, and forcing a third game here in this best-of-3 series. As there's the Roshan kill. Now they have the Aegis on Anti-Mage, and they're going for what you could only assume to be would be a final push if everything kind of works out here for Team Freedom. So NP, can they actually defend against this and continue to delay? Well, we're going to find out as they're pushing in. There's the Burl Strike initiation. BKB Papa Anti-Mage, he's just going full YOLO mode here. This really wants to put the pressure on. Meanwhile, the background Undying taking some damage from Storm Spirit, but now Storm Spirit going to be X himself. Silence on top of that. They catch Ogre Magi as well, and he goes down. The Eclipse is bouncing around. A lot of spread damage, though. Not enough with a single target, especially onto the Anti-Mage, and no one really dying, though. Buyback onto Ogre Magi. They do lock down Anti-Mage now. They might actually kill him right here. Remember, he has an Aegis, though, so he's going to be coming right back up. But the Anti-Mage's support is all still alive, however, throughout that. So they use quite a bit to do this. There's the Hex immediately as it comes up. Stun to follow. Getting some multicast procs out of that. The Impale, he just doesn't get low enough, though. He's more than fine. Meanwhile, the creeps doing work onto the base throttle. That's those mega creeps. So this whole distraction of NP now realizing, oh crap, all our towers are dying. Eternal Levy, though, he does get a double tap off to the side. And Anti-Mage running out, going to again let the creeps kind of do their work. But NP is going to ultimately hold this off for the time being. Granted, there are buybacks on both Puck and Sand King. And they might get Undying, but he should have a buyback as well, I believe. Even if he falls right here, so.
Yeah, fights like that are very small steps in the way that MP can win this game. They need to get 6 slotted on the Storm, they need to get 6 slotted on Nyx. And contrary to popular belief, Anti-Mage in the super late game is not a very good hero, as he has a lot of damage, but it's only a lot of damage if he can actually stick onto people. Whenever you have tons of Force Staffs, Ghost Scepters, Glimmer Capes, it's actually hard for him to lock onto somebody and kill them. And his stat gain isn't amazing. You know, it's actually pretty poor. So if this game does go super late and they get 6 slots on all of their heroes, Freedom eventually will start to fall off, but that's a... What?
Well, he's talking about the World Series.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they want to say of what?
Of what? Look at those nerds over there. Don't know what's going on in the real world. Yeah, no, this is kind of funny, though. It's like, here they are, like, ah, crap, now we got to play a third game. But see, I think that's even more to the argument, though. If you're NP, it's like... Yeah.
I'll take your tribute.
Yeah, how is that
How
going?
uncultured can you get? I don't even know how to play baseball.
What is baseball?
Tomato.
Sports
I mean, to be
ball.
fair, he is from South America, so...
Oh, yeah, okay, that's a little more understandable. Well...
He picking up the BKB now, so... has 10 seconds of the Animage's not really doing anything to him, sort of invulnerability. The only issue is they are low on damage, but Aoi trying to counter that, picking up the Daedalus, now has the MKB and the Daedalus, so actually hitting for quite a bit of damage.
Jeez, yeah.
Freedom definitely has the capability to botch a base push pretty hard now. If they do get a little antsy, a little impatient, and overthink their strength, and it looks like they're going to go smoke into the base, try and find a pick-off, force a buyback, maybe back, or take it from there if the hero doesn't have buyback. But this could turn into NP favored if they can save the hero the Animage jumps on.
I mean, everyone does have buyback though in this game other than Ogre Match, well, as far as timer at least. I mean, everyone really other than dying on the Dire side does have buyback as well. So again, even if they happen to die here, they'll still come back up and look to make a play. But yeah, they are going to go in, as mentioned. Trying to sneak on in here. Nick's setting up already with that Burrow. There's the Burrow strike, though, to take out the Burrow. Strikes down that Burrow. Wisp, meanwhile, tethers away. Caught by BSJ, however, and he will be bursted. He is not buying back. And the creeps are moving in. Luna pops that Satanic. Going to be fine for the time being. The Chain Frost, meanwhile, bouncing around throughout several heroes back here. A lot of damage done to Ogre Match. He will fall. The Epicenter on top. And he goes down with his Nyx Assassin teammate. Nyx does buy back immediately, though. Storm Spirit in the background. They do not have a kill yet onto Freedom. Luna just really keeping her distance with these auto attacks on all the creeps. But again, the crits are popping up here and there. Triple Lemming jumps back in. BSJ is getting low, and it is going to be enough to take him out. He has that buyback, though. Uses it immediately. And good games are actually being called. They do take out Luna. Luna buys back, though. The Glaive still bouncing around, so there's kind of mixed feelings right here. Is that offensive GGs? It looks like it is, actually. Anyways.
Somebody canceled it.
Well, yeah, it's like there was like a last second. Maybe there's hope. No, there's not, guys. There's not.
They almost fake GG. That was like a little bit of fake GG. They canceled, and then now we had to recall it.
Oh, that was that would have been something. That would have been quite the drama-filled finish. No, but it ends up being as expected, at least in the later part of that game. Team Freedom does come through in just over an hour there, and they do take game number 2. So, well, we are going to a game 3, and again, going into today in general. I don't know if a lot of people would have guessed that, but both series happening to go the distance right here. And we're going to find out, can Freedom continue this momentum now? That is that Freedom they're working with, or will Team NP take care of business, as I like to say. So I think we should just go right into the break and set up for game number 3 at that. So anything else to say, CCNC?
No, looking forward to this third game if Freedom can show up to play like they did for game 2.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, sit tight. Game number 3 coming at you. I'm Breaky CPK, joined by CCNC here for Dota Pit coverage of the American qualifiers. We got our final game of the night. Team Freedom versus Team NP. Stay tuned. Game 3 coming up next.
Bets, online betting for every esports fan. Dota 2 and Hearthstone, CSGO and Overwatch, StarCraft 2, the choice is yours. Express bets for multiple matches or live bets on the game you are watching right now. Know your way around Dota 2? Make a prediction for picks and bans.
Playing CSGO? Guess the number of rounds in a certain match.
Daily quests for all participants and all the best choice of payment systems. More than 600,000 users have already made their bets on the spectacular matches since 2011. EGB.com. You know for sure who's gonna win.
Reserve time. Dire team back. Radiant team pick. Dire team pick.